Hello, everyone. It's the witching hour. 'Tis now the very witching time of night. I've been on this crusade for, of course, the whole time, but in terms of seeking money to pay for the lawsuits that I have to file in like the last 10 days. The only argument is that I'm in have some sort of schizophrenic break, but I contend that the entire industry has in fact known exactly what Quentin has been doing. And so that's my point being that argument doesn't really hold weight. It's a shallow intellectual argument. And what I'll say is that I just sent another email to Mike Simpson, his agent, William Morrison Dever, Elvis Mitchell, Ari Emanuel, several of the institutions that I wrote to help so long ago, before April the 18th. Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, which I now suspect have been mocking me the entire time and laughing at him, trying to compel me to suicide. That's a hard pill to swallow. But I also am coming to the realization that I don't know, but I just, when I think about, I try to see things rationally, I try to see things reasonably. And so when I think about those girls on that set, being tied up with a ball gag in their mouth, and Quentin leaning down and saying, "Now what do you have to say about Brian? Isn't it better that Brian's not here? Because we gave him AIDS?" I think that's a kind of psychological hell that's pretty terrible. That's borderline criminal, as far as treatment. And that was, and again, this is the realization that I'm coming to, that when those girls, that I did everything right in their mind, that's how they saw it. What they didn't want was a bro code. Quentin's, with Quentin being weird. Number one, Quentin's already, I suspect they're all sick of Quentin's psychic occupation of their minds. That's pretty evident. I'm seeing that for what it is now, for sure. No. I don't have misconceptions about bitches. That's not why I wrote. Right? I'm not in the industry. I haven't seen that script. I didn't, right? I thought that it was I thought he wanted to make a hard film, not a party film. I thought that it was that it was like Taxi Driver, that's what I thought. Anyway, but my point being that when I didn't submit my mind at Tribeca, that they started swooning even more. They said, "Oh, this is great. He's so perfect. What a dreamboat. Quentin can't control him. He'll protect us, right? And make sure that we're laughing and all those things that I never considered ever. But of course, I'm your Huckleberry in that way. I can imagine being an actress in such a condition. Right? I suspect the movie's not good, right? And I also suspect that all of the girls are miserable the entire time. If what I just was espousing occurred one time, the whole set's shot. He's ruined their lives. It's done. It's done, right? That he swallowed all of them up in his clairvoyant horse shit. Right? And when he, went toe to toe with another adept that he's actually intellectually incapable of surpassing, right? He enticed them, compelled them, manipulated them into descending into real black magic evil, right? And so that's Right? There's no one ringing the bell, you know? And this is why I say, oh, you have to all give me children forever. Like, that's like, this is, like, this is the game, you know? Like, this is, you know. Right? Ouija boards are for babies. Magic's not for babies. Right? So, anyway. I feel like the dust is settling in a big way. Not because of anything other than what it is. Like, every day that we persist in this way, every day that we maintain this relationship, Quentin, myself, and whomever else is involved, more secrets are revealed. Right? That we kind of settle into the reality that we'll never be free of each other until he murders me. And this is what I said to all of them in the email. It's like, this is, right? This is not a joke, right? Like, no one's joking here. You know? I contend that if Quentin truly believes that it's in any way healthy psychologically for us to maintain the way that we're living now, then he needs to be hospitalized for a long time. He's not well. He's not well. There's no logical person would enter into this thing and expect it to persist for 20 years. And this is my point, why it's so obvious, like, oh, he's evil. He wanted me to kill myself. And so the question worth asking now is, but why? Why? Like, what's the fucking big deal? Right? And then the girls, right? Everything kind of comes full circle back to all these women, you know? That he can't just, like, bring me in because he expects to, like, maintain control psychologically, spiritually, psychically over these women. Right? And if he brings me in, right, and they all spread their legs for me, which is the first thing that's going to fucking happen if and when we come together, he's lost him. He's lost him. And so I know that he's not dumb. But I suspect that there is also a part of him, and this is him just being arrogant, being foolish. Him thinking, oh, he's putting me in the old folks' home. That's like the psychic old folks' home. And I suppose on some level I am. I don't see it that way. I see him as being dangerous, and I don't trust him in the world. That's my point behind the crusade, behind saying all these things, behind including all these law schools. Not because I have true legal arguments, though I do, more than one, but because, right, if he's done it once, he'll do it again. Right? And so it's, I suppose it's worth taking some time to discuss what has occurred now. I guess. Right? I don't know. Like, Will Smith said no to Django. There's been a couple of instances, but for a long time, right? Quentin, on some level, is on it for his whole life, I would say. As a clairvoyant, as a psychic, he is never denied. He was never denied. Right? Until I came into his life, because I don't respect clairvoyant bullshit mind games. Right? That's like an exercise in tedium that tells me that you're a creep. That's what I see. Right? And so when anyway, my contention is that, like, when I did not give him what he wanted at Tribeca, and then I wrote him and I said this, like, why, it's time for us to talk, like, no more fucking mind games, it's fucked up that you can't take my letter, it's fucked up that you can't tell me what to do. I think that those girls loved that in a big way, because they saw a pathway to breaking the iron grip that he has psychologically over all of them. And again, they were like, no, this is like, let us talk to him. Let us talk to him. Right? And so he's done everything that he's done since then, because at that moment, right? Because if you remember, I also gave my scene for free and said I would do the movie for free. So that's not a small amount of money. That's like $40 million, $50 million. Right? And I think that's when something broke in his mind. When his ego, right? His arrogance, his opinion, it wasn't enough anymore. When his wife and all those girls were saying, "We like Brian. We want Brian to be here. You know, he doesn't like your mind games. He's a good man. He's a sweet guy. We can trust him. He'll protect us." Right? Okay, and I never knew about those scenes, right? And so in that way, like they're smart. Like they are smart. I guess I am the only actor to make a case for why he should play the role without including those girls. Without including, right? That they loved that. And when they saw that Quentin couldn't control me, that he couldn't manipulate me with his clairvoyance, they knew that they would actually be safe on that set. That they could take all their clothes off in front of the camera, and that I would blast Quentin back to where he belongs, parallax to the camera. Right? And so, anyway, I contend, right, that they in fact got raped. That's the feeling that I get now. That Quentin manipulates all of them, that they're all afraid of him constantly, especially as it pertains to me. And rather than it being this beautiful thing where he uplifts these women because he's like they're the ones that are actually debasing themselves, right? He just exercised his clairvoyance to such an attenuated degree that the only thing that happened was every single one of those women got raped in front of a camera. That's like what actually occurred, right? Quentin obliterating their mind, violating their mind the whole time, and Brad Pitt being a fucking dirty old man. Right? Oh, he's not supposed to penetrate, but I mean, you know. Right? So anyway, anybody wants to watch the movie Critic, you can watch like probably 4 or 5 rape scenes. Pretty funny. Right? And it's a real goddamn shame, isn't it? That they'll never look at it. Like he ruined their career. Like it's done. It's done. There's no. There's no. Right? I regret not being stronger for them. Seeing how sick he is. Seeing how I live in a constant fear that someone's going to murder me at any minute because he's created a mental illness within himself. I can only imagine what it must be like as a beautiful woman, you know, like feeling that you don't have your mind or your body. So, right, share the video. Let me know what you think. Hopefully we can all come together. God bless.